Well, it's the first cool day we've had in a while, so I'm gonna work in the bush. We've been doing a lot of work milling and all that other nonsense, but now it's time to go and bust some trails. Partially the reason why I bought this thing, although, I want to bring a bunch of wood out, firewood and all that. I got a lot of beaver damage. We'll go up and look at that. I got to drag all that out, but at the same time I want to make trails so we can have some fun on the bikes and on the ATVs and the sleds in the winter and all that. That's what that beast is for, and it makes a pretty good trail. I'm not gonna lie, we were in there yesterday smoking some trees down, and I'm trying to stick to the old Skidder trails. But the trees right now are about anywhere between, new grown right up to about 4 or 6 inches. So that's about 20 years of growth. Want to open those up and then start hauling logs out. It's a little tricky in here. Some of the areas, it's a long ride up, but it's a quick ride back because I can sort of head downhill. So we're gonna go smoke some trails open. Maybe I'll bring out a hitch, not quite sure. But we're gonna cam up. You can see right now the machine's all cammed up, ready to rock, so you guys can see it smoking through the bush. I'm a lover of trees, I'm not gonna lie. I love trees, I love this whole area. You're not gonna wanna see these trees getting laid down because it seems like a bit of a waste, but I mean, that's the way we gotta do it, right? You gotta take some down to go get the big ones. And that's how these roads are made. This is an old Skidder trail. This road here that we made is a little smaller. All the roads you're driving on today, most of you guys, even in the cities at one time, those were Skidder trails by horses, maybe. But that's just the way it is. So we're gonna go cut some trails through the bush. You guys can see what this thing can do. It's gonna be a little shaky. It's gonna be a little bit of noise. It's all warmed up, ready to go. Most will be with GoPros because I'm just by myself today and I'm not going to bring this good camera in there. Things are going to get a little dirty. Let's go do it. I brought the good camera. Had to. Just makes for better video. So I got a little bit of GoPro footage. I just started in this trail. Last winter I came in here with the dozer and I sort of skiffed off a bunch of the stuff that was in here. Thought it was pretty good, but this Skidder does a wicked job, I'm telling you. So this is the work we did yesterday. That's one trip in, one trip out. So we're gonna cruise up here and we're gonna find our way in and then our way out, and I'll show you guys a little bit of the beaver damage. But right now, that's a decent looking trail, and all we need to do is skid a bunch of logs out there and it'll fill in all the low spots and clean out a bunch of that small stuff. You're gonna see it's gonna get a little rougher in here. This is what it does. Lays them down, runs over them. Those are about 4 or 5 inches thick. You could barely walk through here yesterday. It's amazing how that thing ripped through here. But we're actually walking uphill right now. You guys can't really tell. These are the things I want to avoid. So when you're coming up on the bike or the kids are coming up on the ATV, that'll just trash them, right? Right at chest level. But after you beat a trail uphill, you turn around, then you come back down, use gravity in the hill, and when you're 16, 18, I don't know, 20,000 pounds, whatever that thing is, it cleans this off pretty good. Now you can see this is the first run. But I want to make this good enough that the boys can get up with the bikes so I don't have to keep driving the Skidder in and out every day. Leave it in there to work if I have to. There's a fence line there. It's always a good idea to walk these things first. Make sure you're staying on your property. It's important. I've got my ribbon marking some trail here. This is the old Skidder trail. It's hard to tell. It goes right through there. Take a piece of that. Forgot some. I'll take a look at it when we're done. Smoke my way through here. Now, I don't know, you guys can't really see that very well, but even that hill there will slow that machine down. Work it a little harder, especially pulling the hitch. And then it's okay coming in and down like that, but I want a smoother grade going up. I don't want to slow me down. I want to be able to haul butt. That might be a little better there. But there's a couple big rocks in there, so maybe I'll push those out of the way. Not sure. But over there you can see it drops. And it's a pretty steep drop, but if I can come in, get my load, and then just bust down over the side of that hill, it's a quick run to the bottom, especially with no brakes. And this is where we want to sort of get to, the beginning of it. I have a good road just over there on the other side of that swamp. But of course, can't get to it from here. Not with the skidder. Let's go take a look at what we're in here for. Oh, here you go. Here's a good example. See that? There's about 100 of these. This one's, that one's only 8 or 10 inches. But there's a pile of those. That's oak. Red oak. And there's a pile of them up here. Look at that. That's ash. And this goes along a nice ridge along a big swamp we have. It's beautiful. I want to clean this out. So we're in here for firewood and to thin this stuff out so those big oak that are still alive can grow. Oh, there's a bigger oak, 14 inches. Nice and straight. Not like what the Americans get back home, but they go pretty big around here. There's another one. That one's 18 inches. Now this place was logged. It was logged about 18 or 20 years ago. So a lot of this was left, like a select cut. So we're pretty lucky. But one of the problems we had were the beavers. We took 8 beavers out of here this winter. Trapper came in and did all the work for us. And they demoed this place, man. They took out a lot of value. I understand, it's their land too, right? But overpopulated, so we thinned them out, left a bunch so they could still maintain the dams. And there's my little pond there. So we got to get in here and cruise all the way down the edge of this and pick up all the garbage that they've left behind. That right in there is a little goose heaven in the fall. They just sort of roll in there. And that's where we like to hunt them. You get a jump on them once every day. There's fresh cut, fairly fresh. Well, there's some dirty old red oak. Started raining here pretty bad. Couldn't get shots of the hitch. What I was dragging, just everything kind of went south on me camera-wise. It's getting pretty rainy here right now. Let's go take a look at the trail. Dirty logs. Oh, shouldn't log in the rain. Had to get the trail made. Now this is where I turn out. That's actually drops down there onto my other road. It's where I turn out to go downhill. That's what I come down here. Every time I go down, I'm trying to beat the road down a little bit. I'm gonna try to get up this. That's where I go down right there. It's pretty steep when you're in the machine and you have no brakes. But coming this way saves me about 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes on the trail. So it's more efficient, more economical. You can see the trail's getting beat. That's only back and forth twice. But these things here, man, these beaver cut trees. These things kill your feet when you hit them on the bike. And they're not good for your tires. They're everywhere. They're trippers. Look at them right here. All skinned up. So every time I come through, I try to drop the blade a little bit, but I end up hitting rocks. There's a tree I hammered down with the skidder. Of course, I'll come back and I'll get that. I'll probably take everything down to about 4 inches at the small end and just use that for our own firewood. I'm not going to leave anything in here. These are my bump trees. You can see the logs ricochet off them. They'll still grow. I'll take them out later on anyway. This is the little hill I talked about at the start of the video. Look at that crazy beech tree. Big guy. And that there is Bam. Kind of poplar. This is that nasty section from the start. When we first started to roll in here. Cleaned her up a wee bit. A little bit more to do. Another couple passes. It's pushing these rocks out of the way. A little bit of a bugger. It's all pit run gravel in here, but there's some big rocks strewn in throughout here. Look at that. Way better. 2 more runs. We'll be taking the bikes through here with no problemo. So that's it. I'm wet. I'm tired. It's hot. I'm gonna wrap it up. Saw a beaver. Cut some trees. Now my mission is to clear out that beaver kill and then thin this area out quite a bit so the big stuff grows and grows big and fast. So I'll have that done by the end of the fall, hopefully. Gotta poke around and thin out a few areas at a time so everything grows up. And I did it a little bit last fall, and you can see some big difference in growth, man. It happens fast. I heard a deer earlier, took off through the bush. Look at that road. Look at that road. Could barely walk through here last week. I love walking through here. Love it in here. Look at this. Just horrible. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that, especially my truck. But if you guys like this kind of thing, oh, look at that. Mosquitoes. If you guys like this kind of thing, then check out Logger Wade's channel on YouTube. It's pretty funny. Does a lot of good commentaries. He's an old BS kind of guy, and good old logging videos. Very informational. Thanks for watching as usual.